got a chance to see Jurassic World Rebirth with Scarlett Johansson. Let's talk about it right now. Thank you so much for spending time with me as we rant about movies, comic books, and television shows, as well as the occasional board game. I'm your host, Frank Zenka. I am an award-winning screenwriter, novelist, and comic book writer, as well as a filmmaker. And yeah, we're going to talk about Jurassic World Rebirth. Just came out basically tonight. I saw it on Thursday night, so tomorrow's the 4th. So I'll probably edit it then. But if you'd like to hear about, my career to a certain extent, whether it be comics or whatever, comics, Hollywood, etc., I'm going to put a link up here for my interview with Fatal J. He did an interview for me, or with me. That's about an hour. But anyway, check out the little link up there. All right, so let's jump into this. I, unlike many people, am actually a fan of the Jurassic World trilogy. If you saw my review just on Deep Cover, you know that I'm a fan of Bryce Dallas Howard, and I'm also a fan of Chris Pratt. And I thought that those two really had a lot of good chemistry together. I thought that the first film, Jurassic World, set those characters up nicely. He was this cowboy type character. She was trying to prove something, in the, being a executive in the business world. She didn't even care about her nephews coming into town. She totally basically forgot about them. And, by the end, she's lighting the flare to sacrifice herself. So she had an amazing arc. And meanwhile, you had Owen he didn't really have an arc in that one, but their relationship became that arc, to the point where she was driving the van, and the two boys said, "Oh, your boyfriend's really cool. We had that cool thing with the motorcycle and the raptors," and I thought all that stuff was really cool. So for me, I liked the trilogy, and I know that the last one everybody hated, but it still had all the characters that had the original characters in there. We also had that pilot character that I really liked. So the characterization in those 3 sequel movies, I liked it just so I could watch the characters. And then, of course, we have the cool stuff with the raptors going on and, with the other dinosaurs, etc. So I was all good with it. I didn't really like the whole locust thing and blah, blah, blah. I didn't like how it ended with the dinosaurs walk around. I agreed with what everybody said. But that didn't diminish the way I liked it. I liked the whole ball sequence. There was really a lot of good stuff that came out of that. And then there was the girl that played Lena Luthor was in it as her assistant, that got taken away by the pterodactyls. A lot of good stuff. Then we had the guy that played the wizard in Dungeons and Dragons, also playing like one of her assistants in the second one. And then even with the third one, isn't that the third one where they had to rescue Blue's? Yeah, it was the third one. They had to rescue Blue's baby. That's all good plot devices that are personal, right? So I liked all that. But let's move in to the new one, okay? So the new one, I already knew from everybody's review that this was going to be bad, but they were like, maybe if you like the older ones, the other ones, maybe you'll like this because the other ones were shit, this is shit, blah, blah, blah. So I went in there with low expectations and thinking, okay, I'm just going to have fun, right? And this is directed by Gareth Edwards, and I can't say I'm a big fan of Gareth Edwards. His big claim to fame is, of course, Rogue One. I thought the characters in Rogue One were extremely flat. They're basically so paper thin. Calling them cardboard is going to be a compliment. The last third of the film is where it gets good, is where we get the action. That's it for me. And then he did Creator. I hated Creator. Hated it. I thought that it was going to be good. I like sci-fi. But boy, that thing is trash. Even the acting is trash in there. So then they said, okay, well, it's going to be written by David Koepp, or Cope, however you say it. And he was the writer of the first one. So I said, okay, well, maybe he can recapture that magic along with Gareth Edwards. Maybe he can, do some of the directing like he did for the latter third of Rogue One. Maybe they can capture a little magic with that. And David Koepp, I'm really hot and cold on him. Some of the stuff he's done I like. Some of the stuff he's done I don't. Like he did Toy Soldiers. He did Death Becomes Her back in 1992, right before he did Jurassic Park, and that's a fun little movie. It's not a great movie, but it's a fun little movie, mostly because of the actors, I think. Then he did Jurassic Park, which was a great movie, right? Then he did Carlito's Way, also a very good movie. He did The Shadow, which is a campy version of it, but it's pretty close to the old radio show / comics. I didn't hate that movie. I like it for what it is. It's a campy movie. And then he did the original Mission Impossible, of which I think the original Mission Impossible is, I know everybody thinks the second one is the worst. In my opinion, the first one's the worst. But it did start the whole franchise up. So we'll give him that. Then he did Snake Eyes with Nicolas Cage, which was okay. Stir of Echoes, pretty good. Panic Room, pretty good. Secret Window, I don't even remember that one. Then he did Zathura. And then he did Indiana Jones and the Crystal Skull. This is where he starts going majorly downhill. So that movie sucked. Ghost Town, never saw, but I heard it was okay. Angels and Demons, not very good. Jack Ryan, Shadow Recruit, not very good. The Mummy, the one with Tom Cruise, awful. And I told you, this is where he gets. Then he wrote Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, horrible. Presence, bad. Black Bag, I liked it. If they had made it a low budget movie, I would have liked it better. But I thought that the acting was okay, pretty good on it. I like both the actors. And I thought that if they were trying to make a low budget film where it's contained, I thought it was good, but there was no reason for that movie to be $50 million. That's where I'm confused. And Jurassic World Rebirth, I'm kind of going along with everybody else on that. And he's got 4 more films slated already. And he's doing the Green Hornet and Kato. And he's doing The Bride of Frankenstein. And he's doing another Steven Spielberg film. I'm worried. Because this guy really hasn't done anything good in a long time. I mean, he's getting gigs purely off his old stuff. And him writing Green Hornet and Kato, I'm not feeling it, man. I am not feeling that. The Green Hornets already has one bad movie. Now they're going to have 2? Bad. So, anyway, this movie here, I really wanted to like Scarlett Johansson in this movie because I know that she likes, the series in general. She wanted to be a part of it. I like watching her. But she did not add anything to this whatsoever. I think that was partially because of the director. The director was kind of bleeding her in a really bad area. Then you had Mahershala Ali. Literally nothing here to like. That's part of the problem. Jonathan Bailey in here, who played the guy in Wicked, Fiyero in Wicked. Of all the characters in there, I think I liked him the best. But he had a socialist kind of mentality where he's like The other movies were like talking about, I think that the morality of it was the Jeff Goldblum character, right? Where he says, well, we never stop to think if we should, right? That was the basic morality of Jurassic Park, is that technology moves forward without thinking of the consequences, which is a great morality. However, here it's preaching, oh, corporations shouldn't own anything, the masses should, which is a socialist sense of morality. And that's the message of this film. That is a bad message, a very, very bad message. So, I mean, she was a mercenary. She was out for money. She had all of her people like scam the guy for more money. And then at the end, she's like, yeah, we don't need the money. So she like totally takes it for no reason. So the plot of this film is so flawed, it's crazy. There's so many holes in this film. I can't even believe it got greenlit. And even with Gareth Edwards reading this thing, he must say there's like no action in this thing. It's all dialogue. And the dialogue is not even very good. It's like plot, dump, plot dump, info dump. That's all it is. It's just them having conversations, info dumping. So we start out with this very stupid scene in the beginning that I felt like I was watching Final Destination, where we had just an obscure thing happen that kills everybody. And here, instead of the penny that we had in Final Destination that goes into the fan, here, and the same penny that goes in the very end with the railroad tracks, the same thing, except here it's a wrapper, a candy bar wrapper, and it goes into the thing and messes up the door. So I mean, it's crazy. So that's where we start, and then we have the Island of Dr. Moreau type of dinosaurs where they're experimenting, but they didn't go far enough with it. Even the end monster looked like crap. That's the best they could come up with, was that end monster when they were talking about mutating all the dinosaurs. That's the best they could come up with. And then there's no payoff to anything. There's just no payoff to anything. And why Ed Skrein was, I don't really like Ed Skrein as an actor. I thought he was the worst part of the Maleficent film. He ruined it for me. He was the one also in the Snyder films there with he played the Nazi guy even though it was sci-fi. I just don't like him. For whatever reason, he just rubs me the wrong way. So when he tries to be a good guy, it just doesn't work for me. Of course, I don't think he was a good guy here. And then we got Luna. So we have two different groups of people here. So we have the mercenaries that are with Rupert Friend. Rupert Friend is the corporate guy in this one, right? So we always have to have a corporate guy. But the storyline is, instead of we have to go to the island to save somebody, or because this is happening, like the other one, I think one of them, Fallen Kingdom, was that we have to save the dinosaurs, right? Okay, that's at least a worthy plot. Here, it's, we have to go get DNA from these certain dinosaurs, even though dinosaurs are still roaming the earth, right? Roaming United States. We even see one at the beginning. I didn't understand it. I didn't understand any of it. But it's not really a worthy plot. It's like, what? It makes no sense. We've had these dinosaurs roaming around for the last 20 years or whatever they said it was, and nobody figured out that they could make medicine from this thing. It just made no sense. So there was no connection, and you get no connection to any of the characters at all. When they were getting killed off, I could give a shit. I didn't care whatsoever. In fact, I'm like, okay, good, another one's gone because there's too many people anyway. And then we get a family involved here just out of the blue. And the guy is like the worst father ever. He lets his daughter like walk. Oh, but my leg hurts. I can't do it. You go do it. You go get the raft. But by the end of the movie, he's walking around on fine. He's like crawling with it. He didn't even complain at all. By the end, he was fully healed. We get the boyfriend, annoying as hell. Didn't like him. The daughter, the one daughter, I've seen her in quite a bit of things, actually. She was in Fresh Off the Boat as one of the girlfriends there. Luna Blaze. So was it really the cast? Or was this film only made... This is what my thing is. I think this film was only made to sell toys. That's it. Because we have a baby dinosaur that named Dolores that follows the little girl around. See, that's the other thing, too. So the family was supposed to come in and kind of replace the brothers from Jurassic World, and then the boy and the girl from Jurassic Park. And there's no comparison to either one. Either one. There's no... I cared about the brothers. I cared about the kids from the first movie. I even cared about the clone girl. But the rest of them, all these people, I could give a shit. Even Scarlett Johansson. You know, the other thing is that Rupert Friend finds a gun, right? So he points a gun at them, and nowhere do we ever see Scarlett Johansson have a gun. Like, she didn't even try to pull on him when he pulled on them. And if she was military, she would have pulled. And then, all of a sudden, she goes into, like, this little sewer area, and she suddenly has a gun. Where did that come from? All of it made no sense whatsoever. The part, so, and then on top of that, the action scenes, like, it doesn't even get going. So I had a full family next to me, right? It was a Latin family. And, you know, she was pretty good. She was probably 12 years old. And she had her little sister too. And she kept at least the gamma down on the phone. But she was pulling out her phone continuously. And that's because she was bored. She was bored. And you know what? I was bored. So you can say whatever you want about all of the other Jurassic World movies. I was never bored. Here, I was so bored. So I didn't even complain about her taking out the phone occasionally because I agreed with her. Oh, it was just sad. The writing is so bad. So bad. The actors could do nothing with it. The actors just came off silly for the most part. Scarlett Johansson's acting looked crap to this because I think she was directed that way. People died and she would like not really care, along with the audience, I guess. You know? Oh my God, it was so bad. I could not have prepared with the reviews, even though the reviews told me that it was bad. I could not have prepared for how bad it was. Because there's no way to take a franchise like this and make it just inconsequential. You know, I was like hoping, okay, well now we have Scarlett Johansson in here. Maybe she'll be replacing Claire, and we'll get another Owen, and we'll have, you know, I like Scarlett Johansson as an actress, as a person, but she couldn't pull it here, man. She couldn't pull it. Her and Mahershala Ali are just info dumping, and then we get this one scene on the boat. Meanwhile, the Latin family is on a sailboat sailing through waters that they know are infested with dinosaurs? You took your family on that? What are you doing, man? So, obviously, Scarlett Johansson's group rescues them, but you have Ed Skrein just firing. Oh my God. The decisions by the characters here are so stupid. It's crazy. I mean, when they were doing certain things, I'm like, why are you doing that, man? Why? And is this, this thing so important? And then you just want to give it to the world. What does that even mean? Like, everybody in the world is just going to be able to create medicine? What are you talking about? People are like going to go to their 3D printer and print out some medicine? None of it made any sense. None of it made any sense. To the point where I think everybody in the theater was just happy when it was over. Even the scene on cliff face wall when they're propelling down, even that wasn't exciting. There was so much more they could have done. I don't think he directed this well at all. He knows how to direct action, but he doesn't know how to direct a thriller. Jurassic World is more of a thriller than an action movie. I got to say that the Jurassic World stuff more implemented some action in there, but it's still a thriller, especially with the raptors. But you didn't get there was only one scene with raptors in here, and that was it. And again, the dinosaurs they did create were crap, just crap. So, and then we had the baby dinosaur running around, and then that was the other thing. So they're on this obscure island in the middle of nowhere, right? And they have a village, right? But it's not really a village. They keep saying it's a village, but it's not. What it is like a town for the workers that were there that I guess got killed in the beginning. I can't tell exactly, but that's what I think. And they had a bunch of American stuff in there. Were they able to get that much American stuff halfway across the world? I would have thought it would be wherever part of the world they were near, that's more of the stuff they were going to get. But like all the potato chips were American potato chips. All of them. Like they wouldn't have had other things that were more Central America. I think it's because they said equator, right? So that's more Central America to South America, right? I don't know, man. None of it made any sense. I'm just shrugging across the board. I'm actually very sad and despondent about the fact of how bad this movie was. But if you were thinking about skipping it, you can skip it. The kids are going to get bored. If you're going to take your kids, they're going to be bored. I own all the other Jurassic Park movies, all of them, even Dominion, and I will never, ever touch this movie again, ever. I don't ever want to be near it. So, but if you go, let me know what you think, and if you're on the fence, just skip it, and go see something else. I'm not even excited about Superman because of the stuff that we've seen so far. So there's that. So on a scale from 1 to 10, I'm going to give this a 3. That's how much I disliked it. And it's probably not even worth the 3. I'm just giving it a 3 just because it's in the Jurassic Park world sequence. Anyway, that's it for me. Let me know what you guys think. Also, remember, too, that my stuff is on Amazon. You can just go to Amazon.com and type my name in. Or definitely go into the description below, but definitely go into my new comic, Fairy Tales of Terror. That's now on Kickstarter. And just go to the QR code over here, or there's a link description below. But we have the fairy tale characters murdering people in New York City, and we have Tiger Lily chasing down a Cinderella and a Captain Hook, and we have it's fun. It's fun. Anyway, definitely take a look at that, and I will see you guys on the next episode. Happy July 4th to everyone. I hope you guys get a chance to spend some time with your family. All right, thanks, guys. Bye-bye.